Okay, you have some skill. Kill him.
GJK. Ajani the exposer. Call me cookie keeper. I own the graveyard. Zesty Jeffrey Cemetery. It's open. Done picking you off solo. Bring me 20. Line them up.
20 versus 1.
Let's end it.
I dissect the myth.
Separate man from Fable. Jordan fans panic.
Unable to stabilize the table.
Big moments. The curated real the glory. Dropping out failures to protect the bedtime story.
Y'all live in nostalgia.
I live in hard data. LeBron's career is the ultimate regulator.
Check the cemetery.
Marcus fresh and deep.
Got Miami State.
Now the city pots and wheat.
Mind vision lost sight. Trying to argue with the king head.
Mini Glock.
Jam up.
Couldn't say a thing.
King speaks. Roll silent.
Drip does the crown.
Scap attack. Fold his spine crack.
Broken down Armani vibes.
Overboard.
Popped under pressure. Resorting to insults to hide the lack of measure. A catalog bodies every Jeff and name.
Exposed.
For hypocrisy left utterly ashamed. Scared to group up ego. Fragile like glass.
20 versus 1.
I smoke the entire class.
This is Gold James Kingdom.
Where idols turn to dust.
We strip away marriage.
Shatter all the trust.
In ghosts of the 90s.
Crime by the perfect ring.
Ignore it first round. It's
The contradictory things.
scrambling and scraping, terrified to stand. 20 versus 1.
Johnny clearing out the land.
Jesse Jeffries in dirt.
Martin filed in the roast.
Step up to the plate or let the ghost status go.
That idol brings a fable from the past.
From the past,
Claims his dad saw I handled that could last.
said pops on walk back in 54 and
Better handles than Kyrie on the floor.
stop.
Your daddy lied.
It's simple.
Use it for blow the pop of logic.
Pimple.
Weaponizing feelings.
To deflect the skill.
But Kyrie's dagger's deeper.
Let's keep it real.
Hating on Braun with a passion so bizarre.
Elevated plumbers.
Them a shining star.
Jordan was a killer.
Yeah, respect is always due. But treating them like God is simply untrue.
Act like losing later.
Is a sin he never knew.
Was well early.
That's a loss too. I stand on accolades.
That's still the book.
You stand on killer instinct.
And a look.
That's why you fear the debate. Why you scatter like roaches when I open the gate. Yeah, yeah. They want the whole way. They want the myth. But I bring the archive. I bring the receipt. I bring the exposure. We all at where the 20 at. Don't hide behind behavior.
Face the reaper.
Vibing.
Gather the truth.
Get narratives aligned.
Bring the styles and virtues here.
Leave logic behind.
I want smoke big.
Boom to suffocate.
So I can let it out.
Seal the joy and fate.
One man, 20 fans.
Microphone to speak.
Dissect.
In every argument.
To your knees, you're weak. I don't need.
Nursery rhymes are forced to vision.
I cut through the frog.
With a surgical precision.
Just go to the fraudulence of your whole gallery. Gold James Kingdom stands tall.
Flag and furrow.
You're LeBron James, greatest player in the history of the world.
Zesty Jeffrey Cemetery.
Plenty of plots left.
Who's next?
20 versus 1 step up.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Peace and blessings. Welcome to another Friday Night Exposure with The Exposer. Y'all know who I am, Ajani The Exposer, representing the GOAT James Kingdom platform. Y'all know what to do, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, check out the GOAT James Kingdom membership. As from here on out, this is the 150th episode of the Friday Night Exposure, and it is only going to be a members-only show here on GOAT James Kingdom. Shout out to all the GJK members who support what we do here, man. 150 episodes in of me just showing up on a Friday night and talking hoops with y'all, people that are really basketball fans, and obviously people that support what we do here in GOAT James Kingdom. So shout out to y'all, man. This show is for y'all, as I am going to be giving you guys my top 25 players of all time. Now, I know I've given y'all a top 10 and a top 25 list before, but the difference between this one is obviously the criteria has obviously been altered and updated. And then on top of that, I'm also was grading Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, Westbrook, Harden, Giannis, and Joker in this particular ranking, so I can see where they really fall at in my all-time ranking. You know, before the only player that I had that was an active player on any one of my list was LeBron James. Now there's going to be a couple of guys added to it as they put up a good resume. But shout out to all the GJK members. I got already New World in the building. What's good, New World? Peace and blessings, young man. What's good, young man? What's good? You can unmute yourself.
Salute, my brother. Salute. It's a good day.
Yes, it's a good Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, good. I got you got a feedback.
Oh, I do. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Shout out to all the people that's already here supporting us. Again, you can watch this show on FYF Sports Debates if you want to watch it on FYF Sports Debate. Shout out to my boy Sante, man. Peace and blessings to all the GJK.
Is that better?
Nah, it's still there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you got to turn off your YouTube.
Yeah, no, I might have to hop. Oh, give me a moment.
All right. Again, the live is link is available to all the GJK members already. Shout out to all the GJK members supporting us, man. Again, it's always great to have you fellas here with me on another Friday night. As like I said before, man, we always do big things here in GOAT James Kingdom because we're real hoopers and we're going to continue to do that. So shout out to all y'all again who support what we do here in GOAT James Kingdom. But yeah, so like I said, I'm here tonight to give y'all my top 25 greatest players of all time with the new ranking and new criteria. You guys know how I like to do things here in GOAT James Kingdom. You know, everything that we do is measurable, and you know, you have to be able to measure these things. I usually don't like to tell you guys my subjective factors, but you know, for my top 10 and what I've been going with for the last year or so has been a simple top 10 that I go off of by my GOAT James Kingdom criteria, and obviously the stuff that I've done by researching all these players' resumes and accomplishments, but then also from what I've seen with my own eyes and how I view the game as well. And that top 10 was LeBron, Wilt, Kareem, Bill Russell, Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, Dr. J, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, and Kevin Durant. Right, so that those were the top 10 guys that I had, and that was based off of obviously my criteria, which is a very objective criteria and a very comprehensive criteria, because again, I'm covering so much of what we talk about every day when we talk about these basketball players and what makes them great, but also I was able to formulate something to be able to grade it and measure it. So now I know who's great at what, and then the little extra tidbits that I can't measure, I can add to it, which we all know is a player's skill, ability, and talent. But I'm you know, in the summer with you guys, we've been doing a GJK Summer Film Festival. Shout out to the THA crew. Shout out to the Hardwood Authority guys. But I've been trying to just figure out what can I come up with now to help Stephen Curry in this category, because that the real thing is helping Stephen Curry. So you know, I created this you know this particular build right here. This is what we call the GOAT James Kingdom greatest of all the accomplishments of a player's career. I mean all the accomplishments of an NBA history, and put it in a player's career, this particular player, this would be the greatest player of all time, right? This would be the greatest player of all time, hands down. But when we talk about these accomplishments, right, it's so much to say, right? Because there's so much here. Because again, we have regular season numbers, we have postseason numbers, we have the players' accolades, and we have the players. And that was the addition we added. What I added was the winning factor, right? Not just about championships, because we all know the 11 Raw championships that Bill Russell won is not enough for people, right? We have guys like Zesty Howie, all the internet telling people how Jordan's 6 championships are more valuable than the 11, right? Because Jordan won more playoff games, right? So we got playoff games here, right? Wins. We got regular season wins. We got winning seasons. We got playoffs that you made, right? All these things are factors into winning. So we added all of this to this criteria to help out Steph Curry, right? And a few weeks back, you guys know that I had the GOAT James, GOAT pyramid here. This is what I made here. And this GOAT pyramid here, obviously, you see where Stephen Curry is. He's at the bottom here. And I didn't know where to place him. I didn't know if Stephen Curry should be in my top 20. Right, because I was like, man, Stephen Curry just has not accomplished enough. All the times that we've done it, again, we've done GOAT James Kingdom top 20. First of all, Brandon and I started with a top 10 list, We started with a top 25 list. Then we went to a top 50 list. Then I gave everybody my top 30 list, right? And then this weekend, we're going to do the top 100 in GOAT James Kingdom. So if you look at the players he's located around, right? I already told you I have established my top 10, but should my top 10 change tonight, we will see. And how I will revolve around that. But again, all of these players are going to be graded amongst this player right here. This is the greatest player to ever play the game. So how will players rank and fare against these players, right? So these are all the resumes that no, this is all that you can add to a resume that are basically things that are objective, right? And the key thing about what we do with the GOAT James Kingdom formula is that we try to make sure that no error is being taxed, right? So there's no error tax and there's no advantages to anything. So there's no advantages to what era you played in. There's no advantages to what position you played in. There's no there's no advantage to what role you possessed, right? There's no advantage to any of these things, to being a big man or a small man or to a position, right? None of these factors fall into this criteria because everything is being graded to this, to this player right here, right? If this player was a player, this would be all the greatest accomplishments wrapped up in one player. So that's the whole premise of the actual the formula. It grades players to this criteria, to this guy, to this build. How close are you to these things? It's no longer grading players on anything else but that. Like, forget all the zesty talk. Forget all the Mortal Kombat discussions where championships work versus one player, but it doesn't work versus another player, so we need to use this stat to beat this player. No. All of your resume will be put together, and it will be thrown up against this, and we will see what stands and what falls. And that's what the whole top 25 that I'm going to create here for the 150th episode. So again, thank you for joining me as we are doing the 150th episode of the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer right here on GOAT James Kingdom. Y'all know who I am, man. I'm Ajani the Exposer, just one half of GOAT James Kingdom, but representing to the fullest, man. So shout out to all of y'all. I see a few of y'all in the comments. I see Iron Man here. Peace and blessings, man. Peace and blessings, man. Again, this is a GJK members live only. For those that are GJK members, the link is available for you to join me here. I will be putting the link up again in the community for those who want to come join me. You got to become a GJK member now to enjoy Friday Night Exposure, or go to Lamont's channel and support what Lamont does over there. So shout out to the FYF folks as well. Peace and blessings. But when we talk about, again, all the accomplishment, this is another thing I like about this criteria. Again, if we look at it, we're talking about grading over 35 different categories, right? I would love for anybody to show me a criteria that they put together where they grading a player based off of over 35 different categories, right? And now on top of that, you compile it to be 4 categories. So like I said before, the highest grade you can get with this, because there's actually 6 categories, but the regular season and postseason will be combined. So the regular season totals and averages are combined. The postseason averages and totals are combined for one score, but that still will equal up to as high as 20 on in each category there. So the total score that a player can score here, and this player right here that we're looking at, is a 60 out of 60. So 60 is the highest any player can score in this ranking system because of the numbers and the way we're going to do it. And we're going to break it down here very shortly. So I just want to give some folks some time to come in so that we can get this going and have some fun. Because like I said, man, everybody has something to say until it's time for them to display their criteria, their formula, how they grade players. And they never have it. The only way they grade players is basing them off of LeBron James. Everybody's GOAT is the GOAT because of how much better they are than LeBron James to that individual. That doesn't float here in GOAT James Kingdom. That just tells us LeBron's the GOAT. He's the standard of greatness. He's the standard of measurement. Why was this all made for Stephen Curry? Because I think Stephen Curry deserves some flowers, right, for his career, and he has a lot of fans. And I wanted to see where he ranks at, because you guys know I'm one of his harshest critics. And I just wanted to see where he falls at with his criteria because, again, a lot of people say a lot of things about these basketball players, but is it really truthful? Because whatever you say about these players, we should be able to see it in the stats or in the film. And a lot of stuff they say about Stephen Curry, we don't see in the film. We don't see this advantage creation or this gravity Stephen Curry has. And we definitely don't see this dominance and brilliance that he has supposedly in the stats and the accolades. And this helps us understand all of this. This is why I did this, because I just wanted to see where he's at. Peace and blessings, Tay. Y'all make sure to join the GJK members. Again, if you are a GJK member, shout out to y'all, man. Peace and blessings, man. Thank y'all for helping us and supporting us. We're going to continue to do big things, man. Like I said, 2026 has been a great year so far, and we're going to continue to make it a better year. We're still going to be doing the GJK Summer Film Festival. So don't think that stopped. We had a one earlier this year, so shout out to y'all who be with us there, the THA crew. Shout out to Juan Boy, Inside the Arc, and Olo. They're on TikTok right now doing a debate. It's a debate night over there. Some guys started a debate night over there on TikTok on Friday nights. So they're over there supporting Juan Boy. Juan Boy's doing a debate versus Bubble Boy, out of all people. Oh, disgusting. Yeah, I know. You Zesties get mad. Now stats don't matter. Accolades don't matter. Winning doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how you feel about the game of basketball. We're all supposed to sit around and hear you cry and complain because nothing in basketball makes you happy enough. I mean, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. It really is. So now we're not going to... Now players' stats don't matter. Now what he does on the court doesn't matter. Now the accolades that he gets because of his stats don't matter, right? And all of the winning that a player does, none of that matters. Yeah, I tell you what's a joke. You can call the player of the month a joke. You know what's a joke? Defensive player of the year. Let's just start there. Out of all the accolades that you see here, the accolades of... I graded 36 separate players. And if I'm correct, only 4 players got a Defensive Player of the Year award amongst all these players that I'm grading. And these are the greatest players to ever play the game, ladies and gentlemen. And there wasn't a player here that was eligible to win the Player of the Month or Player of the Week that didn't win Player of the Month or Player of the Week. So that goes to show you that obviously great players win Player of the Month or Player of the Week. Nobody who's great winning Defensive Player of the Year. It's not even an award worth talking about, to be honest with you. The guys who win it the most are guys that none of y'all have in y'all top 50. So you want to talk about an award that's a joke? Defensive Player of the Year is definitely that award. That's a joke of an award. It is not an award that represents greatness of any kind. The people who have won that award don't ever reach the pinnacle of greatness. There's a very few. Like I said, there's like I said, less than 15%, 10% of the players that I graded have a Defensive Player of the Year award in this category, and we can name them off the top of the head. It's Michael Jordan, Kevin Garnett, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon. None of the other players that I have here, and I'm gonna make sure have a Defensive Player of the Year. And we're talking about the like all these players are players that you guys grade as the greatest players to ever play the game, no matter where you have them rank. And I most guarantee you don't have David Robinson and Kevin Garnett in your top 10. So that goes to show you right there. 8 out of the people in your top 10 don't have a Defensive Player of the Year if you have Hakeem Olajuwon in your top 10. 8 of them don't have a Defensive Player of the Year. But I guarantee you all of them have a Player of the Month and Player of the Week. Michael Jordan's top 5 in Player of the Month and Player of the Week awards. So, again, Zesties get upset because their GOAT can't do what our GOAT can do. Peace and blessings, Marcus. Shout out to you. Again, man, it's always great having the GJ members here in the building. So again, this is the build that we have. This is what we're doing here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the build. This is what we're doing. So y'all see the build. We talked about the pyramid, right? We talked about all the players that are on the pyramid, right? So let's give y'all an example of how the scoring goes for this particular criteria. And we're going to do that by giving y'all the players that are in the top 5 in each particular category so that y'all can see how this ranking goes. And you can see how some players are just dominant, right? So you can clearly see we have the regular season, right? We have the postseason, we have the accolades, and we have the winning. These are the scores for those categories. Okay, that is the score, right? Remember, each individual player, right? Each individual player, if we put this up here, right? Each individual player gets graded for each individual category. So your points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, steals per game, and blocks per game are added up to give you a score. And you do the same thing for your points, your rebounds, your assists, your steals, and your totals in that category with your blocks, right? And then when you add that up, that's how you get the number that I got right here, where the players are scoring in the regular season, where you see Wilt Chamberlain scored 14.67. That's both his regular season average and total put together. So that's scoring 14.67 out of 20 points in the regular season. That's how high Wilt Chamberlain. Again, that's why Wilt Chamberlain, like I keep telling y'all, one of the greatest players to ever play the game, without a doubt. Number one in points per game, tied with Michael Jordan at 30.1. Right? No matter how upset y'all get at it, it's the same thing. Even if I do it 30.07 divided by 30.12, it is still going to equal up to 10, because it's basically 9.999999999, which is basically 10. So Wilt Chamberlain scores 100 for his points per game. He scores 100 for rebounds per game, and then he scores well as a big man, even though he doesn't have a lot of assists compared to someone like Magic, but he still scores high there. And then if you go to the totals, he's over 30,000 points scored. He's first in rebounds all time, so he gets a full 110 points for that. And then he has enough assists. So at the end of the day, he scores high when we're talking about his stats. Wilt Chamberlain's stats are just, like I said, his stats are incredible. Let's just leave it at that, right? So that's how Wilt Chamberlain score high. And then another guy is the same thing, Akeem Olajuwon. Akeem Olajuwon scores high because he has great averages and he has great totals. He scored over 25,000 points. He has over 13,000 rebounds. He has over, he leads the NBA in blocks all time. He's high. He has over 2,000 steals. He averages 2 steals. He averages 3 blocks. He averages double figure rebounds. So his regular season scoring is through the roof. So that's why you see him second on this list. And obviously Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the same thing. LeBron James, the same thing. And Oscar Robertson. These shouldn't be surprises, to be honest with you. But these are the players who scored the highest in the regular season category. Then if you go to postseason, it's the same categories, same numbers. You're talking about points per game, rebounds per game, all that other stuff, just for your postseason. You know me, I like to separate the regular season from the postseason. And that should be done. And in the postseason, LeBron's number one, because we know LeBron James is number one in over 10 statistical categories in the playoffs. Forget the 5 that we're mentioning, because he's number one in playoff points, he's number one in playoff steals. So that right there gives him a good boost, because he's double digits there. He's second in assists all time in the playoffs as well. Right? He's top 5 or top 10 in rebounds, if I'm correct. Right? In the playoffs. And he's also up there in blocks in the playoffs. And not to mention his average in the playoffs is up there. LeBron James' playoff average is through the roof. It's 28 points per game, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. Just balling. 1 block, almost 2 steals. So his average is through the roof. So everything LeBron James does puts him number one for postseason stats. Then you have Wilt Chamberlain again, because Wilt Chamberlain averages a double-double in the playoffs. 20 and 20. Ladies and gentlemen, that's hard to beat, man, when somebody's averaging 20 and 20 in the playoffs. Then you have Akeem, again, because Akeem Olajuwon's playoff numbers are great because, for one, he didn't play that many playoff games. Right? He had 2 great playoff runs, and he had 1 other run outside of that. Other than that, it was a lot of first-round exits for him, which he played great in a lot of these first-round matchups. Then you got Kareem, and then Duncan comes in. Obviously, not a surprise. Tim Duncan is the all-time leader in blocks in the playoffs. So he falls in that category. So that's how you have the postseason guys. Those are the postseason guys right there. Then you go to the accolades, which is the funny thing, because supposedly Michael Jordan's accolades are great, better than LeBron's. But here you can clearly see the number one guy in accolades is Wilt Chamberlain. He scored the highest. Why is that? Because Wilt Chamberlain has every accolade that existed in his era. So for every accolade that we grade him for, he's the only player that has every accolade in this category. He's the only player that won every accolade, bro, that existed in his era. He has the most seasonal titles by far, and that's not even counting field goal percentages and field goals made in the season. That he won those titles with. We're just talking about the regular points title, right? We're talking about scoring title, rebounding title, assist title, block title, steals title. They don't have no blocks and steals in his era, but he has an assist title. He has multiple rebounding and scoring titles. And he has the most, all of them put together. Then he has 10 All-NBAs. He has 12 or 13 All-Stars. He has four MVPs. He has all kind of crazy stuff. So again, Wilt Chamberlain, surprisingly, is number one in all categories with his accolades. So y'all can see why I had Wilt Chamberlain ranked number 2. Then obviously Kareem comes in right behind him, and then LeBron falls closely behind. Now obviously LeBron scores high in this because I added Player of the Month and Player of the Week, and not too many players can compete with LeBron James. LeBron James is literally twice as better than anybody in that category when we're talking about Player of the Month and Player of the Week. So he gets a large boost for it, but it is an NBA accolade. It is an NBA award, and it's been around for 40 years. It's about time y'all just swallow y'all pride and realize Player of the Month and the Player of the Week ain't going nowhere. Then your boy Jordan falls in there, and then Bill Russell falls in there. These are the accolade guys. And then we go to the winning. We already talked about the winning. Y'all already know what the winning was about. We already talked about how the winning worked, right? We showed y'all the top 10, right? So that is for sure one of the categories that I felt was important to add, which is why we're doing this. Because a lot of you guys love to talk about winning, and we have yet to describe what winning is. Because if 11 championships ain't considered the greatest winning of all time, then what should be considered the greatest winning of all time? And when we look at the greatest winner of all time, it's LeBron James by far. If Jordan 6 is more valuable than 11, then LeBron James' 4 is more valuable than the 6 and even the 11 that Bill Russell won. Not to diminish Bill Russell's 11 championships, but again, LeBron James played in the toughest era in NBA history. Real NBA competition exists today. That's just the facts. Not to say it didn't exist back then. It's just that if we're comparing eras, we have to tip our cap to today. That's it. So LeBron James has won the most, then Kareem, then you have Duncan, and then surprisingly Scottie Pippen comes in out of nowhere. Because Scottie Pippen has won everywhere he's gone, and he's been a winner since he entered the NBA. He's been winning playoff games, playoff series. Again, he's won just as much as Michael Jordan and more. So he ended up trumping Bill Russell in this, and which is why I thought this winning category was necessary, but also not only was it necessary, but the reason why it was necessary is to show how kind of insignificant the winning aspect is. Because again, there's a lot of players that we can rank here that's going to be ranked higher than Bill Russell, who won 11 championships. Because again, my winning criteria includes more than just championships. We're talking about 8 separate categories to measure somebody for winning. Right? So when we talk about 8 separate categories, is one championship, that's 1/8. Winning a championship is 1/8 of your greatness. It's not everything. So you have to win in the playoffs, you have to win in the regular season, you have to win throughout to show that you're a winner. And that's how your winning came. So again, these are all the top 5 players in all categories right here. Top 5 players. These guys here show how great they were, and also shows how this formula works and how the numbers are crunched up. So as you can clearly see, for the regular season, the highest anyone can get is 20 points. For the postseason, the highest anyone can get is 20 points. And the highest you can get for the accolades or the winning is 10 points. So it's a total of 60 points that a player can win when we're grading them off of the criteria that we're doing. So again, this is what we're doing tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm giving you guys my top 25 greatest players of all time. Welcome to the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. It's the 150th episode where, real basketball fans get together to talk basketball, break down the game. Tonight I'm giving y'all a great analysis on players' resumes, and we're really going to break down a lot of these players' careers. I'll put the link up for y'all very shortly, but if you're a GJK member, the link is already available for you. You can join up now and have a conversation with me. I had New Worlds in here earlier. Shout out to all of y'all. I see the bandwagons in the building. Peace and blessings. GOAT Wilt James Kingdom laughing my behind off. Well, Wilt Chamberlain has 2 categories. LeBron has 2 categories, right? So that just goes to show you that goes to show you how great Wilt Chamberlain is. And people like to disrespect him. They call him a playoff dropper. But again, averaging 22 and 22 is like bad, supposedly. Like 22 and 24. They get out of here, man. Again, y'all just don't be knowing basketball, man. Y'all just don't know basketball, man. So again, this is the greatest player criteria of all time. So again, I graded 36 players with this criteria right here, right? So outside of the 25 that we see here, right? I also put together guys like I said, Giannis, Westbrook, Harden, Joker, right? We got Wade, Barkley, Kuzi, Rick Barry, Elvin Hayes, just to name a few guys that were honorable mentions, right? That I wanted to see where they fall at, so I can make sure I have a good top 25. I just didn't want to grade 25 players or 30 players. I wanted to grade a good amount of players so that I can have a top 25. So with that being said, I mean there's no point of hiding these players from y'all. Let me go ahead and give y'all. Now I'm gonna give y'all the honorable mentions with the 11 through 25 first. So that's going to be that. So again, y'all make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Welcome again to the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposure. I do this every Friday night right here on the GOAT James Kingdom platform. This is the 150th episode of doing this. So this is nothing new to me. Should be nothing new to you. You should have already been a subscriber to the channel. You should have already been hitting that ring notification. You should already be hyping our videos. You should already be liking our content, commenting, sharing our content, following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Discord. Everywhere you see basketball fans, you should see GOAT James Kingdom. You'll see the GJK logo. So let's get right to it, man. Let me show y'all my top 25 greatest players of all time. And we're going to start with the honorable mentions, all right? You see who the honorable mentions are. You got Charles Barkley, Moses Malone, Dwayne Wade, Westbrook, Stephen Curry, Bob Pettit, Elvin Hayes, Jokic, Dirk Nowitzki, Giannis, and Rick Barry. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the guys that did not score enough to crack the top 25 greatest players of all time. Stephen Curry is not a top 25 player of all time, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm telling y'all the truth, he's just not. He really isn't a top 25 player. I'm sorry. I've tried enough. There's nothing that you can do to make Stephen Curry a top 25 player, top 10 player, besides say some nonsense about how he changed the game and impacted the game and blah, 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 blah. Just a bunch of nonsense. His resume is not enough to put him there. Like, he just did not do enough. If that's the case, you should put Allen Iverson in your top 10. Obviously LeBron James should be in your top 10 because he changed the game. Wilt Chamberlain should be in your top 10 because he changed the game. Kareem should be in your top 10. Magic, these guys all changed the game. Everybody wanted to be like them. And that's not enough to put somebody in the top 10. It's fine to do it if you want to do it, but again, that's not what we do here in GOAT James Kingdom. So you clearly see Stephen Curry scoring. He scored less. Yes, as you can clearly see, he scored less than Russell Westbrook, Dwayne Wade, Moses Malone, and Charles Barkley. Because his resume is just not enough. I thought he would have done enough to put him higher on this list, but he just didn't do it. Yes, Curry did not crack the top 25, bro. He just didn't do it. He's not it. It's just not it, man. Film should be the category. I agree. I completely agree. Film should be in the category. I agree. Well, Memphis up here, but he's not a top 25 player. Shout out to Najee. He's not a top 25 player. And I'm a boldly say that because again, if he didn't get a chance to rank in the top 25 with this criteria, with everything that I put together, everything that I laid out, as much as I'm helping Stephen Curry in this scenario by adding winning, because supposedly he's a winner, right? He's a 4-time champion. He's a 2-time league MVP, right? But again, what hurts Stephen Curry is he doesn't have the full resume. All he does is score and shoot. He's not a great facilitator, so he doesn't have great assist numbers. He's definitely not a great rebounder, so he doesn't have great rebounding numbers. He's definitely not good on defense, so none of his steals, his blocks, none of that attributes to anything. None of his accolades gets him up there. He doesn't have all these, like again, there's a bunch of players who have better accolades and numbers than Stephen Curry. He just doesn't fall into the annals of greatness. He's only boosted up just like Isaiah Thomas because who they beat and how they won championships, which is fine. If we won a great championships, it's fine. But again, he needed Kevin Durant to help him have a dynasty. So those are the honorable mentions, right? We got those guys as honorable mentions, right? We got those guys as honorable mentions, right? And then if we really take a look at the top 25, and we'll get right to the top 25, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we could start with Kobe. Unfortunately, I thought Kobe would crack my top 10, but obviously adding the winning didn't help Kobe in my category. Now, every time I do a list, Kobe's never really cracked my top 10. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Every time I do this, Kobe has never really cracked my top 10. And only reason I put Kobe in my top 10 is because of stats, not stats, because of the achievements, which are the records and the milestones, and obviously just the raw talent and the skill ability of Kobe Bryant. Right? I can't see how Magic Johnson could be better than Kobe Bryant. Shaquille O'Neal is better than Kobe Bryant. I can't see how Hakeem Olajuwon is better than Kobe Bryant. But these guys just accomplished more than Kobe Bryant did for their careers. They're closer to the greatest player of all time than Kobe is. And that's sad to say. And again, this is another criteria that doesn't that doesn't give an advantage to longevity as well, or playing short careers. Because you'll see very shortly once we get to the top 10 why that is so. But again, we got to start with Kobe Bryant being 11th. Then the real shocker, and not surprisingly, was Karl Malone. Karl Malone ended up, like I said, I had Karl Malone around 15, 16 on my top 10 list all time. But he got a major boost because I've added the winning factor of this, right? So I have the winning now. Now he gets to have more addition added to his greatness because Karl Malone's made the playoff almost, I think, every year of his career. He won a lot of playoff games, a lot of playoff series, right? So he has a lot of winning seasons. He has gold medals. So he literally has a lot of winning outside of just winning a championship. So that championship not being there on his resume doesn't hurt him as much in the winning because there's so many other ways to be a winner in my criteria. And because of that, he ended up being 12th all time. As you can clearly see, he ranked right behind Kobe Bryant, ahead of Larry Bird, who has 3 championships, which is so odd. But again, Karl Malone has an illustrious career. His stats and his accolades alone puts him in the top 20. The only thing that's missing from Karl Malone's resume is that championship. If Karl Malone had 1 championship, he would be a top 10 player in NBA history because the rest of his resume is solid. The rest of his resume is better than a lot of other players' resume that won championships. But again, the winning helped him here. So now he get boosted up to 12. It's going to be hard for me to justify, but I can only justify it by telling you winning matters. And if you're going to argue with me about winning don't matter, then I don't know what to tell you. You're going to be zesty because you just want to argue. So Karl Malone ended up beating Bird and Scottie Pippen being 14th. Now, this is the second time I've done a list, and Scottie's been 14th on my list. And this is a different criteria, so the numbers shouldn't really be the same, or the results shouldn't be the same. But obviously, Scottie's the top 15 player all time. I got to do that. I got to do that. And Kevin Durant, for me, Kevin Durant's a top 10 player. There's no way Kevin Durant's not a top 10 player with all that he did. When we talk about the achievement aspect and the skills and the ability, Kevin Durant's definitely a top 10 player with his resume and his accolades. But I can't grade your achievements and milestones. I don't know how to formulate a good enough criteria so that we can measure that and add it to this to see how much that does matter. And not to mention the 7-foot sniper, man. This is the Slim Reaper we talking about here, y'all. So Kevin Durant is rounding off the top 15. Right? Shout out to King Money Fly in the building. Peace and blessings, yo. Shout out to you, man. Y'all make sure to follow King Money Fly on TikTok, man. Young man does great things over there for the LeBron fan base and just for basketball fans in general. Shout out to you, bro. Peace and blessings, man. Thanks for the list, man. Oh my God, dudes are crying. Zesty, stay crying in the comments. I don't know why y'all be crying all the time, man. Do some push-ups or something, man. Goddamn. Always crying. But again, that's the top. That's the 15, right? And then we're gonna move on. John Stockton becomes another factor. Now again, I had John Stockton somewhere between 22, 21, 23, 24, somewhere around there. And I had a Zesty on TikTok upset with me about it because when I did my list like 2 years ago, he was ranked higher than Stephen Curry. And he's still ranked higher than Stephen Curry. I could have thought Stephen Curry added more to his resume now to at least pass John Stockton, but no. Adding the winning changes it again because John Stockton's played 19 years and John Stockton's made the playoff 18 times. He had winning seasons his whole career. He's won playoff games, playoff series, right? So he has all of these things added to his resume, right? So now he gets boosted up and he becomes number 16. He jumps guys like Jerry West and Oscar Robertson for me, who I had in my top 15. Because now and another thing about this too is also we took out the winning aspect away from accolades, because before the way the accolades work was you had your playoff accolades and you had your regular season accolades. Your playoff accolades include your championships, your finals MVPs, right? Those got the championships got taken away, right? And then the finals and all your playoff accolades got combined with the regular season accolades. So that changed how your grading would result to your final score. So now guys like Oscar Robertson and Jerry West fall back, right? But then now Kevin Garnett, which has always been around the same spot. I've always had Kevin Garnett somewhere between 17, 18, 19, 20. He's back at number 19, right? So shout out to Kevin Garnett for doing what he did. He's one of the great bigs of all time as well. Then David Robinson, another guy too. I've had him around the same area, 19, 20, 21, 22. I've always been confused with, Kevin Garnett, John Stockton, these guys. And CP3, another guy, number 21. Always had them confused around that area. But now I got them kind of, put together. Then at 22 is James Harden. Again, this is where I wanted to see where James Harden was put at. James Harden's made the playoffs 17 times in his career. He's had an illustrious career, right? He's about to reach 30,000 points, if I'm correct. If he hasn't even reached it yet, no, he's about to reach 30,000 points. Got to add him to the resume list and see where he falls at. He ended up being in my top 25. Not Stephen Curry, but James Harden was in my top 25. Right? Yeah, nobody would put, and I agree. Nobody in America would have Karl Malone over Bird. But nobody in America has a criteria as comprehensive and as detailed as mine. So that's fine. You know what I'm saying? People can have their resumes and all that stuff. And tomorrow on TikTok, we're gonna bring this to TikTok. I'm gonna explain this all to everybody on TikTok as well. So join us tomorrow for the TikTok Takeover Live. So shout out to King Money Fly, man. Bless him with all the gold coins and the jewels, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate the love, man. We are here having fun, man. And again, there's no making stuff up. These are all players' resumes. There's nothing that I did on this particular grading system that's made up. There's nothing about 30.1 points per game that's made up. There's nothing about 22.9 rebounds per game that's made up. There's nothing that's made up about 15,000 assists. There's nothing made up about 15 all defensive selections. There's nothing made up about having 4,100 playoff rebounds. There's nothing made up of 3.3 blocks per game in the playoffs. There's nothing made up about having 1,074 regular season wins. Nothing here is made up. Nothing is made up. The only thing that you want to say is made up is combining all of this into one player. But again, we know y'all don't appreciate greatness. We know Zesties don't appreciate greatness. We know that. Y'all don't know what greatness is because Jordan's not the greatest. So y'all get upset because Jordan's greatness is not enough. But to round off the top 25 is obviously Hondo, which falls drastically because I have Hondo always around 17, 16, 18 area. He's always been in my top 20. Hondo has always been in my top 20. But again, adding the winning and all of the factors that I did here changed his numbers, and now he's top 23. He's top 25. He's in then Elgin Baylor, which has always been around. The Elgin Baylor's falls around the 24, 25, 26 range, and Bob Cousy falls in there. Now Bob Cousy is usually in my late 20s, maybe 30s, but obviously Bob Cousy's resume is really, really illustrious. Again, the man has a league MVP. He has 6 championships. He has 12 All-NBA selections. He has, I think, eight assist titles or something like that. He has some crazy number like that, 6 assist titles. So yeah, Bob Cousy deserves praise and recognition. But these are the guys that I've graded, and obviously this is how we got to the top 25, right? This is how we got to the top 25, right? And again, y'all can be mad all y'all want to. Y'all can say whatever y'all want, but all of this is truly, truly graded by a truly great system. You can call it made up system, whatever. It measures players by how close they are to the greatest accomplishments of all time. There's no subjectivity in this. There's no zestiness in this. There's nothing I'm adding to this. How great is your points per game to Michael Jordan's points per game? How great is your finals MVPs to Jordan's finals MVPs? You got 0 finals MVPs? Well, guess what? You are 0 greatness to Michael Jordan's finals MVPs. And it's no one's fault that, like I said, Jordan's career is not enough. It's no one's fault that Jordan's career is not enough, that you don't want to measure Jordan's rebounds versus Wilt Chamberlain's rebounds. Or you don't want to measure Jordan's assists versus Magic Johnson's assists. Or you don't want to measure Jordan's steals who I think the guy who leads the NBA in steals all time is Albert Robinson, right? It's no one's fault that you don't want to do this. It's no one's fault you don't want to grade Jordan's 9 all defensive selections to Tim Duncan's 15. It's no one's fault you guys don't want to grade Jordan's 13 stat leaderships to Wilt Chamberlain's 19. No one's fault that y'all be crying all the time. No one's fault that y'all don't want to grade Jordan's 6 championships to Bill Russell's 11. Y'all little crybabies. It's no one's fault. It is no one's fault. And like I said, we don't make shit up. We look it up. But y'all can make shit up. Go ahead and you make up something. You go show us a ranking system. I've been waiting 3 years for any zesty to do this. Go create a criteria that has a point system involved and show us that Jordan scored the most points out of all the players in NBA history. Show it to us. Show it to us. Show it to us. Now, you guys see all these guys in the top 25. Now, out of all these guys in the top 25, right, only 2 of these guys ended up being top 5 in any one particular category, and that was Scottie Pippen and Oscar Robertson. Remember, we showed it early on in the show. This is the top 5 guys for each category, and you can see Oscar Robertson was top 5 in regular season, and Scottie was top 5 in winning, right? So all of these other guys that we see here in the top rankings in these categories are all in the top 10, right? We obviously know that, right? We know Wilt should be in the top 10. Akeem is in the top 10. Kareem's in the top 10. LeBron's in the top 10. Duncan's in the top 10. Bill Russell, Jordan, top 10, right? Only Oscar and Scottie Pippen didn't make it here out of the guys who were in the top 5. But obviously you can see why Oscar Robertson and Scottie Pippen scored so high, because they obviously have some good numbers available on their resume, right? So, well, I do understand roles. That's the good part about this, is that my criteria doesn't affect or give advantage to players depending on your role or not. It just measures you to your greatest accomplishment. It doesn't matter. Everybody has a role, right? Jordan's not the only scorer here on this resume, on this ranking, right? The same way Wilt Chamberlain's not the only big man on this resume. LeBron's not the only versatile player on these rankings. But again, how great were you at what you did should show and reflect within your stats, accolades, and your winning. If it doesn't show, then how do you measure greatness? Off of what you saw? I can't see what you saw. I wasn't in your mind at the time that the light was reflecting from the television and entering your eyeballs, and your brain was perceiving what was you're seeing. I wasn't there. But we could all see these numbers. We could all see these resumes. So quit crying. Do some push-ups or something. Right? So that's the official right there, you know, top 25 with the honorable mentions. Again, Stephen Curry's not a top 25 player all the time. I'm going to have to go handle that on TikTok, right? So, again, y'all, just for y'all don't know, we're doing the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposure Show. It's me, your boy, Ajani. I'm here doing the best that I can do to show y'all what it is to be a real basketball fan and a real content creator that could express what basketball represents in, as far as the greatest players of all time. I have the greatest build of all time. Put the greatest players up against it and see where they rank at and how they fall in that. So that's what we're doing. My top 25 greatest players on the 150th episode of the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposure. Thank y'all so much for joining me as we continue to give you guys great content here in GOAT James Kingdom. But again, the Zesties are going to be upset. They're going to cry. They're going to complain because that's all they do best. So without further ado, let's just go get right to it. Let me give y'all my top 10 greatest players to round out the top 25. Again, the top 25 list starts off with Bob Cousy. Then we have Baylor, Hundo, Harden, CP3, David Robinson, Kevin Garnett, Big O, Jerry West, John Stockton, Kevin Durant, Scottie Pippen, Larry Bird, Karl Malone, and Kobe Bryant. And here is my top 10 greatest players of all time, measured by the greatest accomplishments of all time and the greatest, obviously, criteria ever put together. And what you have here, ladies and gentlemen, is LeBron James reigns number one, obviously, because we know he's the greatest player to ever play the game. He is a 42.75 out of 60 points, ladies and gentlemen. And again, Kareem is right there at number two because I added the winning factor. The winning factor is what put Kareem over Wilt Chamberlain. The fact that now we put the winning as its own separate category, it gave Kareem an opportunity to just bypass Wilt Chamberlain on my top 25 list. Wilt Chamberlain will be third on the list. Bill Russell ended up being fourth on the list, which was a great surprise to me because I needed that to happen because, like I said before, Michael Jordan's career is not enough. He never surpassed Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, or Kareem to be considered a GOAT. He just ended up having enough marketing and fandom to get himself that title. He was never greater than those players, and he is exactly where he should be, which is the fifth greatest player to ever play the game of basketball. After that is Tim Duncan. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we've done this multiple times here in GOAT James Kingdom. When I say multiple times, I mean multiple times. We're talking about top 10 lists, top 25 lists, top 30 lists, top 50 lists. And every list we've ever done, Tim Duncan has always landed at number 6. It is the most oddest scenario of doing these criterias and putting together the top greatest players of all time. Tim Duncan always ends up being number 6. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, always he is number 6. It goes without question. It goes without even asking. He's number 6. Then we get to Akeem Olajuwon. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Akeem Olajuwon, the guy that I don't like having in my top 10, but is going to be in my top 10 because, again, his stats, accolades, and winning says he is a top 10 player of all time. Like I said, his stats are ridiculous. That's what puts him up there so much. And even his resume as accolades wise, he has almost every category there listed as well. He has a MVP. He has Finals MVPs. He has Defensive Player of the Years. He has all NBAs, all defensive selections. He has All-Star selections. He is across the board one of the greatest players to ever play the game. And we can see why the Zesties love Akeem. And they've been trying to praise him for a while now to give the 90s some kind of recognition outside of Michael Jordan. So they get Akeem here. Akeem ends up being 7th on my list. Dr. J, like I said, I always love Dr. J because he is a pioneer of the league. I don't know how people hate on Dr. J or don't recognize his greatness. Again, I recognize everything he did, including the ABA era. All of that is included here, so that means he is a top 10 player. He scored 32.17 out of 60. Shaquille O'Neal, the Diesel, Aristotle, Big Shaq, 30.82, man. Shout out to Shaq for cracking the top 10, man, because Shaq has an illustrious resume as well, accomplished a lot in his career, played a lot of playoff games, won a lot in the playoffs. Just a great player, man. Again, the most dominant player we've seen in our era outside of LeBron James. And then obviously Magic Johnson. Again, every list we've ever done, Magic Johnson has always cracked the top 10. He just has an illustrious career. And again, this goes to show you guys how longevity doesn't matter with our criteria. Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, and Magic Johnson all played less than Michael Jordan, which played 15 seasons. If you even include Michael Jordan, who didn't have longevity, and they cracked the top 10 list. So again, this criteria does not hold anybody, at a disadvantage for their role, for the era they played, for the position they played in. None of that matters. All that matters is your production and what you actually did in the basketball court. And that's how I have the top 10 greatest players of all time here. Because again, these guys truly, truly did the most in NBA history. And depending on how you grade what they did, it would tell you where they ranked and where they would be at. So again, I'm going to give you my top 10 greatest players of all time. It's LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, Akeem Olajuwon, Dr. J, Shaquille O'Neal, and Magic Johnson. And that was obviously graded by the GJK formula and using my criteria to have that formula put that together. So again, LeBron James is just incredible. his resume speaks for itself, and there's things that we could add to make it even more for LeBron James. There's so many things that you can add in these categories. So again, like I said, I wanted to add things like field goals, right? And I was like, well, your field goals should be added, but you know what? Your field goals is represented in your points, right? Then I thought about adding 3-pointers and field goals, and I said, well, you know what? 3-pointers give advantage to dudes who shoot in perimeter over big men because big men don't take threes. So a lot of big men are going to get 0 points because they don't shoot threes. That's not, that's not fair. That's not an objective way of looking at things. But like I said, there's plenty of categories you can add on here. You can add offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, right? And the GOAT James Kingdom, the one that we do with Brandon, we use analytics. So we use PER and win shares and box plus minus and things of that nature. So a lot of this is very interchangeable. It's very flexible. It makes the criteria dynamic. The formula is the key thing, though. We have a secret formula. We really have not explained to people how the formula works. It's not as easy as you guys think it is. There are some things that you have to do to make sure that you grade players correctly and you get a good observation of the history of the game. But when you take this resume right here, which is the greatest resume, this is the greatest player of all time, build and standard, and you measure it against the greatest players of all time, LeBron James is the closest to it. And I saw a video the other day where somebody said if Wemby was an alien and his civilization landed on Earth and they told you got to give us the best basketball player to take their DNA to play basketball, to make another basketball player, who would that player be? Without a doubt, it's LeBron James. Without question, it's LeBron Ramon James. Without a doubt. Because nobody's accomplished more than him. I told you Kobe will never be over Shaq. Yes, that's true. Now, why would Jordan be out the top 10? Again, Jordan's resume and achievements got him in the top 5 for sure. There's nothing you can do to take Jordan out of the top 5. Like he does not. See, the thing about this is it's not about what the player did in general, like just Jordan, but also what other players did. There's not enough players that accomplish more than Michael Jordan. So again, and you got to look at it under this perspective. Look at the guys that are ahead of Michael Jordan: Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron James. That's not bad company. That's not that Jordan being a guard and being a guy that nobody expected to do this, being the 3rd pick coming out of a draft, a scrawny little kid from North Carolina. For him to be the top 5 greatest players of all time is obviously a great achievement. The expectations were never met, right? The expectations were met, but the expectations were never given like that. That's why y'all love him so much, because he wasn't expected to do all that he did, and he did it like he did it. I don't see why Michael Jordan can't be top 5. I don't have anything against it, but I can tell you what, he's not top 3. The same way Stephen Curry's not top 25. And obviously Kobe's not top 10, man. As much as we would like to think it, like I said, the only way we can make Kobe top 10 and Stephen Curry top 10 is bringing subjectivity and biases to the game. There is no other way to do it. Now, I did put the link up for everybody who was a GJK member to join me here because I want to have a show with my GJK members and my GJK assassins. But I know y'all will be busy on TikTok now. We done took over on TikTok. Now all y'all do is be on TikTok. Never got time for nobody on YouTube anymore. Which is kind of good because you know what? The Friday night exposure with the Exposer and the GOAT James Kingdom show is probably going to go back to its original format and original platform. I usually thought to do this show for an hour. It stretched out to 3 hours because of Lamont and joining FYF Sports Debate. But Lamont's no longer doing lives on his channel. All his lives are TikTok channel. YouTube has really lost a lot of people that want to create content on here because it's very difficult to keep the fan bases on YouTube. They don't push your content out on YouTube. YouTube is very difficult. If you're already popping on other platforms, it's hard to come back to YouTube and be like, yeah, I want to be on YouTube, right? But here, this is GOAT James Kingdom headquarters, YouTube. And we're going to continue to be here for every Friday night exposure and every Sunday afternoon show. So these shows will be about an hour to 2 hours on Friday nights. And it will be definitely a 2 hour show on Sundays where we are going to be giving you guys our top 100 players on Sunday. So y'all make sure to catch us this Sunday afternoon for the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and Ajani, as we will be doing the top 100 greatest players of all time based off of the GOAT James Kingdom criterion formula. Now remember, there is a formula for your criteria. If you have a criteria, the criteria is all the categories, the things that you want to use as measurements. The formula is what you use to grade those measurements, to make those measurements work out for you. So again, you can use whatever categories you want, which is why we say it is a dynamic and very flexible criteria, because you can add whatever you want to it. As long as you know what the greatest accomplishment is in any particular category, you can measure that player to that, and the formula helps you do that. Right, so we have the top 100 greatest players of all time. We gave y'all the top 50 greatest players 3 years ago. If you want to see that show, it's still available on the GOAT James Kingdom platform. The entire show is still there. We gave y'all top 50 greatest players at that time, but now we're going to give you our top 100 players, opening up wide open for that. So that's what we're going to do this Sunday afternoon. That's what we do in GOAT James Kingdom, because like I said, not only do we talk the game, we watch the game. And nobody could break the game down better than us, man. We are just the best at doing what we do best, man. I feel you, man. I appreciate it, New World. Shout out to Wayne Gant in the building, man. Shout out to you, man. Peace and blessings, man. Let me read up some of this zesty comments, see what the zesty's talking about. Hey, Johnny, you got to do and at their best ranking players based on who had the greatest individual peak seasons. That's also another thing you can do with our criteria. You go find out all the individual peak seasons, right? And you go find out how you can grade that. So basically, you got to take all the greatest seasonal achievements in the season, right? So the 50 points per game by Wilt Chamberlain, the whatever it is, the 30 rebounds he has, whoever has the most assists per game in the season, the most blocks per game in the season, the most steals per game in the season, right? You take all of that, right? You take all the resumes, everything that a player does, right? They have to get everything, right? You have to put all the accolades, right? The most, obviously, there's only going to be one All-NBA, one All-Defensive team, but you got to grade them all that way. You create that, and then the formula will be put together, and then boom, there you go. You have the greatest peak of all time based off of the greatest peak of all time. So you can do that with any category. You can do that with you can do that with anything. I've done this so far with the greatest shooting guards of all time, with the greatest point guards of all time, with the greatest defenders of all time. I've done this also for the greatest finals performer of all time. All of these things, we've used the GOAT James Kingdom formula and criteria to create it. We've done all of that. So we've done a great job. So let's show y'all again why zesties are always going to be zesty, right? They got zesty comments. We'll give the zesty some attention. Yeah. Yeah, not according to Ajani, according to the greatest accomplishments of all time. Yes, that's the facts. It is a big man's game. I mean, you can't get mad that big men are the ones who are accomplishing the most in the league when it is a game for big people, for tall people. Hello, like what are you supposed to say about that, sir? Like, don't make no sense. You guys don't make no sense, man. I mean, you guys just be crying all the time, man. Just be crying. I don't know why you be crying. Don't make no sense. Just don't be making no sense. Zesties are mad. Zesties are mad. Again, yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Let me put the link up for y'all. And if y'all want to have a conversation with me, you can be more than glad to have a conversation with me. Right? Because again, I don't hide from nobody. But the problem that I have with y'all is that y'all say all these things about how points matter, winning matters, all these things supposedly matter, but now that these things are added to the categories, now these things are not supposed to matter because it doesn't help Michael Jordan anymore. Because now it's not Michael Jordan versus LeBron doing these things. When it's Michael Jordan versus LeBron, all these things matter. But now when it's Michael Jordan versus the rest of the pool, none of those things matter anymore. Now we have to remove these things from these categories. Why I would say Jordan's career is not enough, because Jordan is the only player that we have to remove stuff from other people's resumes for Jordan to be considered greater than them. Jordan can't just measure up against them in just normal measurements of any kind, which is why no Zesty has created any formula to show how Jordan's the GOAT. All they do is lie and nitpick on certain accolades and achievements to say why Jordan's greater than the next player. But they don't get it. Yeah, if in reality, that's the truth. Yeah, you're right. The top centers of are Wilt, Kareem, Hakeem, Shaq, and Russell, right? And the resumes and the stats show it. It's clearly right here. Sir, no one has Jordan's resume. No one has Russell's resume. No one has LeBron's resume. No one has Shaq's resume. No one has Magic's resume. Every player has their own unique resume. Like that's just a silly comment. What makes Jordan's resume that much better than anybody else's? Because it's different doesn't make it better. Everybody has their own resume. Jordan does not have Joker's resume. He doesn't have Larry Bird's resume. What does that mean? How does that make him better than them? What did he do that's better than them besides scoring? Because that's the only thing y'all want to say that makes Jordan greater than anybody, that he scored more points than anybody. But like we were talking, that's why we say Jordan's career is not enough. Because when we look at what does Jordan have on here, what belongs to Michael Jordan on this list right here? Can anyone use this to tell me what? There's 37 categories right here, right now. Which one of these categories, how many of these 37 categories belong to Michael Jordan? Tell me. Tell me right now, with all the things that we see here, what are the categories that Michael Jordan holds here as the greatest player of all time? We know it's points per game for the postseason and the regular season. Those are two categories. Anything else? Is there anything else that y'all can point to us here that we can say, oh, that's Jordan's right there? Tell us. Why do I got to tell you Jordan's resume? You don't know Jordan's resume? Yeah, we know Hakeem Olajuwon traveled. Jordan traveled. We can show you a whole compilation of Jordan travel. Every time Jordan did a spin move, he traveled. Yeah, 6 Finals MVP. See, we know Adrian's a true Jordan fan. Right? 6 Finals MVPs. Anything else? Anything else? So we got 6 Finals MVPs, 6 Bill Russell trophies is what we're going to call them, 30 points per game, and 33.5 points per game. That what makes Michael Jordan the GOAT? This is why y'all don't want to talk about his resume. Because his resume doesn't stack up when we start talking about other things. When we start talking about rebounding, assisting. Right? Even when we go to steals. Jordan he doesn't lead the NBA in steals. It's crazy that you say that Jordan does not have 3,000 steals. John Stockton has 3,000 steals. Jordan doesn't have 3,000 steals. Like where else can we find Jordan at here? Can anybody show it to me anywhere? Well, the shooting guard position is the weakest position in basketball. We already proved that. The weakest position in basketball. It's very easy to call Jordan the greatest shooting guard of all time when there's not too many great shooting guards compared to other positions. Especially when we're talking about centers. So again, what are we supposed to grade players by? This is why y'all say we should grade players to Jordan's resume, because y'all only going to want people to do what Jordan did. To be the GOAT, you got to be Jordan? Like, that doesn't make sense. No, to be the GOAT, you have to accomplish the most in your career. You have to be the player that does the most in your career. And y'all all agree to that because y'all think Jordan is the one that accomplished the most out of anybody in NBA history, but he didn't. Because when you know the history of the game, like we're providing you here tonight, you can clearly see Jordan is not a top 3 player all time. He's top 5, and he's number 5 exact. He's not better than Bill Russell. He's not better than Wilt Chamberlain, and he's not better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Let's not even mention that. Forget this silliness about him and LeBron James. You guys just trying to leap in bounds. Jalen Rose out here talking about when did LeBron pass Magic, Duncan, and Kobe and Shaq. Well, when did Jordan ever pass Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, and Kareem? Never. LeBron has, though. LeBron has passed them so much, because you don't want me to tell you what LeBron has on this list over here. Y'all don't want me to tell you what LeBron has over here, because we know LeBron has playoff points. LeBron has regular season points, right? LeBron has playoff steals. We know that, right? LeBron has all NBAs. LeBron has all-stars, right? LeBron James has player of the month. LeBron James has player of the week, right? LeBron James has 19 playoffs. LeBron James has 42 playoff series wins. He has 188 playoff wins. He has 20 winning seasons. I just listed over a dozen things LeBron James has in this 37 categories. And that's why he outscored everybody else in this, because he has the most. He accomplished the most. He's done the most. He's number one in more categories than anybody else in NBA history. But all you Zesties are going to do is get mad and upset because you can't find a way to make Jordan the GOAT without talking about LeBron James. What you mean study? People like me, what kind of study is that? Like, I mean, bro, you've never studied a day in your life. And if you're studying me, it tells me how pitiful your life is. There's nothing interesting about me other than talking about LeBron. So let's just keep it real. You want to talk about LeBron. That's what makes me interesting to any one of you Zesties. There's nothing about my life that's interesting. I got a wife. I'm not a criminal. I don't gamble. I'm a good father. I got a job. Got a good career. That is something you Zesties don't know nothing about. Nothing at all. Nothing. All you Zesties do is cry, though. In the comments. Yeah, George No won only 3 categories, Asante. 3 categories. Right? And even if we did this, right, Asante? Let's just say we wanted to separate the stat leaderships and the all NBA and all defensive teams. Michael Jordan would score less if I was grading Michael Jordan by his 9 all-defensive selection first teams and his 0 second teams. He would end up scoring less points because 9 divided by 15 is 60. So 9 is 60% of 15. That's 6 points Michael Jordan gets if we just go by the total raw number of the amount of selection he has. But now, yeah, Jordan's going to get a 10 for having 9 first teams, but he's also going to get a 0 for having no second teams. So when we average out the 10 points he gets on the first team with the second team, he now scores 5 points for his all-defensive selection. So now he scores less. Right? And now Zest is going to be mad about that. And it's the same thing for the scoring titles, right? Yeah, we can give Jordan his 10 points for scoring titles because he has the most scoring titles in NBA history. But then we have to give Jordan 0 for not having an assist title, for not having a rebounding title, for not having a block title, right? And he's not number 1 in steals titles, so he's going to get less points there as well. So 13 out of 19 is 6.6 points, damn near 70%. But now if we take away that, Jordan scores less. He now scores under 4 points or 3 points with his scoring titles. Now his scoring titles are devalued because he's now competing versus other accolades he didn't get. So it's better to just do the raw number of how much they have. 19 is the most. Wilt Chamberlain has 11 rebounding titles, 7 scoring titles, 1 assist title. That is 19 stat leaderships. That's the most in NBA history. Jordan has 13. We compare Jordan's 13 to that 19. Gives Jordan the highest amount of points he can get. Man, as you clearly see, all they're going to cry about is why Michael Jordan, because again, Michael Jordan's career is not enough. Y'all get online and get tough, but we tell y'all Michael Jordan's career is not enough. It just isn't. And y'all can get mad at Go James Kingdom all y'all want to, but all we do is provide facts, proof, evidence, truth. Put it together. Show y'all Michael Jordan's career is not enough. So again, to round off my top 25, right? Y'all see who was my top 10, right? It's LeBron James, Kareem, Wilt, Russell, Jordan, Duncan, Akeem, Dr. J, Shaq, and Magic. Then you have Kobe, Karl Malone, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Kevin Durant, John Stockton, Jerry West, Oscar Robinson, Kevin Garnett, David Robinson, CP3, Chris Paul, James Harden, John Havlicek, Elgin Baylor, and Bob Cousy. Right? Then the guys who are honorable mentions are Barkley, Moses, Wade, Westbrook, Curry, Pettit, Hayes, Jokic, Dirk, Giannis, and Barry. These guys in the honorable mentions could not crack the top 25 because they did not score more than 24.9, which was what Bob Cousy scored. So that is my top 25 greatest players of all time, rated by the greatest accomplishments that ever accomplished in NBA history. And these are the top players in each category, the top 5 in each category, right? So we got, again, Wilt Chamberlain topped off in regular season stats. LeBron topped off in postseason stats. Wilt topped it off in accolades. And LeBron topped it off in winning. Which y'all already know about the winning because I showed y'all the top 10 winners of all time. That was just to show y'all, give y'all an idea of who the greatest player of all time is and things of that nature, right? So y'all see what I'm doing here. And again, this was all predicated off of this pyramid that I made recently to just, because again, just to have tiers. Again, LeBron sits alone, and obviously Kareem, Wilt, and Bill Russell are the gatekeepers to the GOAT. You have to be better than those guys to be considered the greatest player of all time. Kobe and Mike never did that. Duncan never did that. Magic never did that. Shaq, Bird. None of these dudes, Curry, none of these dudes ever did enough to be considered the greatest players of all time. None of them are up there in those categories. None of them, right? And then you have, obviously, like I said, the Stephen Curry factor. I'm sorry, y'all. Stephen Curry can't be the GOAT, man. He just can't be the GOAT, man. It's just not enough for him, man. It's just not enough, man. So, But again, welcome to the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. I'm your host, Ajani, man. I'm here doing a live show like I do every Friday night for the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. All I do is show out and show everybody how great basketball players are. When the season starts, we're going to be watching basketball games again. Again, it's the dead middle of the summer. Football season is about to start, so I know a lot of y'all getting ready to watch football. But either way, man, support GOAT James Kingdom by becoming a GJK member. We have a great a group of guys in community. We provide special perks. Again, all those that are waiting merchandise, please be patient with me. Again, I'm the only one who's doing all of this. I got to create content, be a family man, be a husband, be a good employee, and also focus on getting you guys all the stuff that goes along with being a part of GJK membership. But again, you go to GJK page, you hit that join tab, you'll see all the different tiers for becoming a GOAT James Kingdom member. And then from there, you can just go ahead and just support us like all you guys have been doing. Again, shout out to all the GJK members, man. This is a GJK member stream only. I had put the link up for all the GJK members to come join me and have fun as we were talking about my top 25 greatest players of all time. But again, man, this is GOAT James Kingdom. I'm Ajani the Exposer. I do this every Friday night, and I'm going to continue to give you guys great content, and I'm not going to stop here on YouTube. Again, I'm going to also be doing TikTok lives and repurpose them here. All the TikTok lives will be available for GJK members. We're still doing the GJK Summer Film Festival as well, so don't be afraid to watch those lives. We got great games, and we just did the Knicks versus the Magics in the 1994, I think, matchup it was, or 95 matchup. That was I think it was 94. That was a good game to watch. Again, we're going to do some more tomorrow as well. I'm going to do another live tomorrow on TikTok. Again, we're taking it to TikTok because it gets good engagement there, and then we can bring it to YouTube. So shout out to everybody who support us on all the platforms, because again, GOAT James Kingdom is the best place to be a basketball fan, and obviously to be on the internet talking hoops. So shout out to all of y'all in the comments as well, man. We see y'all doing y'all thing. Oh my God, that's it. Once you start putting hate comments up, bro, that's when we start putting you in timeout, bro. Get tired of people like y'all, man. Y'all are just some haters, man. Go to a live that y'all can go to. Don't go to people's live and tell people what to do when it comes to the live. If you don't like this live, don't tell people not to like it. Go somewhere else. That's the worst thing of the worst. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like I said, George's career is not enough. He was never enough. He never accomplished enough. And that's why, I stay on Jordan fans' neck, man. We came up with the greatest criteria ever to show everybody who's the greatest player of all time. And at the end of the day, Jordan's career is not enough. Y'all know who I am. Y'all know what to do. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom.
They wanna talk everything but hoops with us. No proof. Jordan's career's not enough. Get online, it's group just to appear tough. No proof. Jordan's career's not enough. Talking telephone line won't get you pointing across. It'll only lead to getting mad and walking off. Upset at Ajani who spoke truth to your ears. They put proof to the real, hoping to soothe the fears, but they knew the deal. The rules are set, so stop whining and remove your tears. Let's review the real and remove how you feel. There's no crying in the GOAT debate. Know your place and face your fate. Troll away, but no, we won't go away. We blow our foes away in the coldest way. Bricker than Chicago on his coldest day. Or Jordan shooting another atrocious J. They wanna talk everything but hoops with. They wanna talk everything but hoops with us. No proof. Jordan's career's not enough. Get online, it's group just to appear tough. No proof. Jordan's career's not enough. Oh. No ball talks, man, trying to understand the math. Wondering how Jordan's not enough and how we come up with that. It's simple, but this must be stated. What did Jordan do to be the greatest?
Was winning the most.
Putting the ball in the hole, lock it down his fold. Best handles, run the triangle. Best shot, not close. Jordan beats, not the most, so let go.
Jordan's GOAT is tonight.
We all heard what you said, you lied.
Not denied.
No more about hoops when GJK comes up. Because we will prove how Jordan's career is not enough. They wanna talk everything but hoops with us. No proof. Jordan's career's not enough. Get online, this group just to appear tough. No proof. Jordan's career's not enough. Jordan's career's not enough. There is not a GOAT debate. There's GOAT James and there's others.
I'm over here listening to Lamont debate Herm right now. Lamont and debate are doing a Herm right now on TikTok Live right now. And that is what I am listening to right now. Let me go ahead and listen to this. Let's see what we can get out of this. Hold on, let's put this up here.
That's pretty much all it is, right? And they were both able to give off great points of what both players can do. So if we're strictly looking at the judging criteria, I can't give somebody a negative for following the criteria of what it is. That's the only reason why I have it as a tie right now, because they both presented facts based off the judging criteria, and none of them were ones. So I have to go off what the judging criteria says.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
Uh-oh, controversy already.
Yes. Casual, with respect. I can't go back and change your vote, even though I understand what you just said, right? I want to keep the interior. What we're doing, the vote is the vote.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So, Miz.
Uh-oh.
Is it twos across the board for her?
Yes.
Okay. Is it twos across the board for FYF?
No.
Okay. Then it's settled. Shout out to LMG Herm. He is 4-0 on 4-quarter steez. Herm, congratulations, my brother.
One question, man. I just want to know which one was the one for FYF. I'm curious. Consistency. Okay. Is that the only one? Yes, I had him choose everything else, and I actually. Okay. Explain to me consistency. So I think that inherently, when you're using shot percentages like true shooting, and when you're using points per possession, what you are saying is the ability to make a shot inherently does revolve around your shot creation ability. And you're using the numbers from shot making to justify why someone is a better shot creator. And in the conversation that I heard, he told Herm that shot making was not a part of shot creation. So if you're going to tell Herm that shot making is not a part of shot creation, then inherently your argument is not consistent.
What?
Okay, that's fair. Okay.
This is crazy. We're over here listening to Lamont is cracking up. Y'all need, that's why I told y'all. I knew it was going to be that. I told y'all.
Argument, but consistency, I see where you come, how you get to that.
That makes sense.
No, I actually like actually like the strength of the argument. I just think that one thing that he told Herm was the difference maker. Okay. What did I say? Man, salute to the pro, though. Salute to the pro, FYF, man. Good shit, Lamar. Is that what I said? Good shit, Lamar. Is shot making shot creation? That's why I asked you based on what you're arguing, because you told him it wasn't. I mean, I know. Are they two different things to you, Miz? To me? No, I think the ability to create shots and the ability to make shots often go hand in hand, but the ability to create a shot doesn't inherently mean that you're actually going to make the shot.
The comments are going crazy. Oh my God.
Is more so about how you're getting. Say what?
Why did the NBA, Synergy, any tracking data site, why did they separate the two if they're not different?
This is your debate. This ain't my debate, brother.
I think in general, they don't have to coincide within each other. However, within the context of these two players.
Oh my God, these dudes are funny. Oh my God. Of course they got the favor. I told y'all that. Unless one of us was voting up there, you was not gonna have a fair vote. You're not gonna have a fair vote with Mini Glock up there. He's not gonna vote correctly. He basically said Lamont's argument wasn't consistent because of what Lamont used. Lamont, like, that doesn't make no sense. They are who they are. They are who they are. You know. Yeah. But again, y'all come over here where everybody can have fun talking basketball again instead of sitting here going to other people's lives and letting one or two dudes judge what you said on the basketball when there's plenty of people sitting there listening. They got almost 130 some people in there watching, and there's only 3 voters. Like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. And I told him that, but again, they have to have better judges than what they have. It has to be a better system for that. I can't wait to listen to that debate when we get up out of here. But we here doing what we do here on YouTube. Like I tell people, man, I do my Friday night exposure every Friday night, no matter what, unless I got something else to do on a personal level. But Friday night exposure, I'm 150 episodes in, right? I'm 150 episodes in, and basically, with 150 episodes, I've come up with different topics every time. Every time I come up with different topics, different things to say, different things to bring up, different stats to talk about, different achievements to talk about. I mean, everything that we can talk about in basketball, I've brought it to the forefront here on a Friday night for y'all to talk about. Because again, you don't have a job and you don't have shit to do. So you might as well come and join me on a Friday night and be a part of a real platform that talks real basketball and opens up the platform to real people. And again, we're going to continue to do what we do here. I'm doing my top 25 greatest players of all time. Y'all see who's the top 10. These are the top 25 rounding off, and the other honorable mentions as well from those categories. And that's what we do here on GOAT James Kingdom, man. We have a great platform here, big time following across the globe. You know, we got people who follow us, especially the Philippines. I mean, the amount of people that be on the Philippines in the GOAT James Kingdom Facebook group is crazy. So that's another factor. We're going to continue to grow our content. We're going to continue to give you guys great things, do big things. But I'm about to get ready to go find out what's going on with this TikTok stuff. But I want to thank y'all for joining me again here on another Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. This is actually a good list. Again, I'm a little upset at certain categories and certain players where they ranked, but I'm also happy where other players ranked. And overall, I'm more happy than I am upset or disappointed with this list. Again, so to just round it off, I'll give you guys my top 25. The honorable mentions are Barkley, Moses, Wade, Westbrook, Curry, Pettit, Hayes, Jokic, Dirk, Giannis, and Barry. To top off my top 25, you got Bob Cousy, then you got Baylor, Hondo, Harden, CP3, David Robinson, Kevin Garnett, Oscar Robinson. You got Jerry West, John Stockton, Kevin Durant, Scottie Pippen, Larry Bird, Karl Malone, and Kobe Bryant round off the 11th to 25. Those are where those players rank. And then from there, like I said, my top 10 is LeBron, Kareem, Wilt, Russell, Jordan, Duncan, Akeem, Dr. J, Shaquille O'Neal, and Magic. And I feel comfortable with this list. I really do. And I'm going to have to start walking around telling people this because the winning factor changes a lot in my ranking. Again, even though I still think Kobe Bryant's better than Hakeem, Shaq, and Magic, he just hasn't accomplished more than them. He's not there. If we take everybody's career and measure them to this greatest accomplishment of all time, where do they rank? And Kobe ranks 11th all time on this list. Like I said, it is what it is. We can't cry about it. We can't complain about it. But again, I want to thank y'all for joining me again on another Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. This was another great live. I had a great opportunity to talk hoops with you guys. Again, if you like this content, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, right here on YouTube. The best place to watch basketball and talk basketball is right here in GOAT James Kingdom. Also, don't forget, this Sunday afternoon, we're going to be doing the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and Ajani. We're doing our top 100 players of all time, graded with the GJK formula and criteria. Obviously, we know LeBron's going to end up being number one, but where will your favorite player be? Make sure you join us Sunday noon Eastern time to find out where that'll be. But like I told y'all, man, I'm Ajani, the Exposer. This is the best place to talk basketball, the only place to talk basketball. Obviously, we have a GJK haunted house with the Zesty Jeffries Cemetery, where we bury all Zesty Jeffries on their final burial spot because they can't talk hoops. So shout out to all the GJK members, all the GJK assassins. Thank y'all for joining me again on another beautiful Friday night right here with the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. Peace and blessings, y'all. You have officially been exposed by the Exposer.
Jesse Jeffries living in a fantasy world, hating on the king, feeling the envy unfurl. Every time they see LeBron putting belt to ass, wishing they could just afford, but they're stuck in the past, trolling gold. James in the shadows they creep, crying in the comments while they can't get no sleep. Zesty Jeffries, trapped in that vice, hating on greatness but paying the price. Wanna celebrate but they're tangled in lies. LeBron is the truth, can't cover those skies. Can't cover those skies. Every record broken, jealousy stings, more points, more rebounds, but what about the rings? There's the Jeffries yelling, leaving their pride on the floor, but deep down they know that LeBron's done more. Figure cows just to bring someone down, wishing they could cheer for the throne that he found. Zesty Jeffries, in their vice, hating on greatness but paying the price. Wanna celebrate but they tangled in lies. LeBron is the truth, can't cover those skies. Can't cover those skies. It's the love no let